Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning, everybody, and to everybody. Good morning. It's Friday. We made it another week. God's been good to us, and for that, we owe him all of the thanksgiving. And do me a favor, invite somebody, share. Where did I put my glasses? I want to be able to see you. Right now, you probably see this glare in my eyes. It's because I cannot see. But good morning, everybody. I want to talk about money this morning. A lot of people got it wrong when it comes to this money thing. We believe that we're supposed to work for money. We believe that we're supposed to go get the money. We believe we're supposed to find the bag. And if that is not the biggest lie, misconception, I don't know what is. We're chasing the bag, we're chasing the money, and we're missing the opportunity. And that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. So do me a favor, invite somebody, share. I've got my coffee mug here. This morning I wanted some praline. So I've got me some praline that I put in it. Here's my what do you call this thing? It's for my coffee, but there's a name for it. It'll come to me in a minute. It's not black enough. French press is the name of it. Pulls all the flavor out of the coffee. I love it. How are you doing this morning? Somebody talk back to me. Let's see who's on. Corey Doolittle, good to see you, bro. Jerry Brown, good morning. Andrea Mitchell, good morning. Tamika Joseph, what up, Tamika? What's going on? And K Press, good morning to you all. Jerry Brown, you can be a member of Encounter Church in Georgia. I know you out there making millions, but you can. We do out-of-town membership. K Press, I am good this morning. Thank you for asking. Do me a favor, if all of you would invite somebody, that would help out a lot. Kind of scared of this coffee this morning. It's not black enough. When I make coffee, it looks like oil. This is what this look like used oil. It's a little brown in there. I like it black. Tastes okay. I've done better. Sunshine 1113. Good morning to you. Make sure you vote Ken Jefferson. Make sure you vote Ken Jefferson for sheriff. Make sure you vote. That's really important. Make sure you vote. Make sure you vote Ken Jefferson. That's real important. Now, has everybody I received that? You never sent me the information. Was it the membership? Was it the information for membership, Jerry? I know we did talk in the inbox. So, okay. I will get you that information. I will, because we're getting ready to start a private page for Facebook. We've already started a page for Instagram. It's Encounter Church Jax, Jax. Make sure you all go check that out, Encounter Church Jax. We're getting ready to start a private Facebook page, and I'm going to be posting the last 6 sermons that we've done. This past Sunday was rather different because I didn't get a chance to teach, preach. Such a strong spirit of worship in the place. We ended up worshiping pretty much the entire service. Tasha Lockett, you got to come visit me, Tosh. Good to see you this morning. So this last service was different because we literally worshiped the entire service. It was really good. So I want to talk about money this morning. So let me do this. I'm going to put on a little video. I got to get my glasses because I want to be able to see you. I'm tired of straining reading the comments. So I'm going to put on a, let's see what good video I can find for about 30 seconds. Let's see, what about that?
Sing, I love your voice. Oh, you have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. Yeah, I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Oh, and all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so.
All right. So good morning and thank you for your patience. Put on a little music for you just to entertain you while I went and got my eyes. So the average person believes that in order to get money, you've got to work overtime, you've got to have a job that pays a lot, you've got to cut back, you've got to monitor your spending, and you have to manage your finances. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't believe you're incorrect. I do believe you're incomplete. Because there is a principle that God put in the earth that overrides or supersedes every other principle. And that principle really is giving. Oh, yeah. So you yes, you do have to save. Yes, you do have to manage your money. Yes, you do have to be a good steward over what you have. But what puts you over the top is not overtime. You may have to do it. Well, it's according to your faith be it unto you. I know people that refuse to do overtime and they say they're just going to trust God and it works for them. I know people that believe God for overtime and they get it and it works for them. So you got to work that on your own. I don't believe anyone can tell you how to do it. But when it comes to getting, the way that we get is we give. I needed a certain amount of money here recently, and I didn't reach my goal. The first thing that I challenged myself was, what am I giving? So I began to give more. And the rest of what I needed, it came in. But it did not come in through working overtime. It didn't come in through the businesses. It came in because I gave. Let me give you this too. In your giving, God creates new opportunities for you. And it'll be opportunities for you to gain more money in less time. I don't believe that we're supposed to work ourselves to death in order to get ahead. You know, what kind of father does that? Um, saying the broadcast shows twice. It could be the different platforms that I'm on. I have a fan page and then I have a personal page. I think that's it, but I'm looking at the personal page and it's on there one time. So, so one of the ways that God rewards us with more work is good work. The better you are at what you do, the more opportunities will open up for you. And one of the reasons I'm sharing this is that we're living in a world where everything is going up but that paycheck. Gas is high. Groceries are high. We're seeing some of the largest prices on everything. No matter what you go to buy, no matter what you get, it's extremely high. And it's to the point that it can be extremely frustrating. And for those who are already struggling or trying to contend with what you have, it can be or seem as if this part of your life that God has overlooked. And I don't believe he's overlooked at all. In fact, he's so concerned about it that he is blessing you. He is opening opportunities for you. A lot of times we miss the opportunities because they don't come in the form of our expectation. How we perceive it to be is not how it shows up. Let me pause for a second and take a little parenthetical deviation. Tomorrow at 2:00, Darlene McCoy is going to be coming to Crazy Beans Coffee. Now, Darlene McCoy is the host of the Nightly Spirit in Jacksonville. That airs on 107.9 FM. Many of you remember that's the station I built. Oh, yeah, I've been building a long time and put them on the map. So she's going to be at Crazy Beans Coffee tomorrow at 2 p.m. 2:00 p.m. She's going to be there. And I would love to see your face in the place. Even if you got something going on, stop by Crazy Beans Coffee. She's going to be, I think, from 2 till 4. She's going to be at Crazy Beans Coffee. And she has some material. She has a book. And I'm just saying, you need to stop by there, okay? You need to stop by there. It's going to be really, 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 really. It's going to be really good. Now, so when it comes to your money, the opportunity that God gives for you to get more money in most cases is not going to look like necessarily. It's not going to necessarily look like you perceive it to be. For instance, I went through about 3-4 years ago. I was going through a financial storm where I needed more. And I was believing that God was going to send somebody to meet that need. And that need would be met in abundance. And I thought somebody was going to write me a check because that's what had been happening. Let me give you some context to that. I'd gone through a season where God was just using people to write check to fund the things that I was doing. So that's how I was accustomed to receiving from God. People come up to me and write checks. I come on here, tell them what I need. They write the check for it. Went a few places. One lady told me, she said, hey, I like what you're doing, like what you have going on. As a result of that, I want to sow into it. She wrote me a nice size check, and it conditioned me to believe after a few times, that conditioned me to believe that God's way of providing for me was going to be through a check. Well, he didn't say that. That's how it was happening. So I assumed that his way of meeting my need was going to be through a check. And it was for a season. It was for a season. Then this is again maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It stopped coming that way. And I started saying, now, God, you promised that you would supply my need. If I attend to what you tell me, you're going to provide. And provisions aren't being made. And as a result of that, I need help. I've run out of money. And when I prayed that prayer, we be talking to God like he don't know what's up anyway. But when I prayed that prayer, I said, now, I believe that you have people in the north, south, east, and west. I believe that there's one person that could meet every need. And that's where I put my faith. But it didn't happen that way. I got a call about a construction job. And I want you to hear this. My company hadn't been in existence in a number of years. I would do favors for friends or family, but hadn't really done it on a large scale. And this particular job, it was a big job. And the person that told me said, hey, I know you do it and you should bid on this job. And I'm like, well, it's been some years. This is what I'm thinking to myself. It's been some years since, that was not 4 or 5 years ago. That was longer than that. That was 2000. It was in 2015. So it's been 7. So bidding on the job, I hadn't done that in a while. I hadn't been on a construction site in a while. Again, I never stopped doing construction. I just would do smaller jobs. And I bidded on the job, got it. And the increase that I needed was in the first payout. Now, this is not what I was believing God for, because I honestly thought my construction days were over. I did. At this time, I thought they were done. And guess what? It was what I needed, and it came when I needed it, and I had enough to do the things that I needed to do plus. So here's what I'm challenging you on this morning. Look at the skill of your hand and judge your ability as to what you can do. And your increase may be in the hidden gift, the gift that you're not accustomed to using, the gift that you forgot about, the ability that you have to accomplish certain things. There may be something hidden in there. I was talking to a friend of mine. I know her from banking. She and I met years ago. Her husband is a friend of mine. She's a friend of mine. We became really close, but we were working in banking. She looked out for me. I looked out for her. She was the branch manager of one bank. I was the branch manager at that time of another. And long story short, we were talking the other day. She has all of this financial information that is extremely beneficial to everyone. And she's talking about retiring. She's talking about, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but I want to be out of banking. I said, well, what is it about banking you don't like? And it was really just the hours that you have to commit as a branch manager. You're the first one there, you're the last one to leave. Anything goes wrong in the store, you have to be Johnny on the spot. And it's really, really, really time consuming to the point that you can't get anything else done. You can't really enjoy your life that you have because the responsibility of that bank is in your hand. And she says, I'm over that part of it. She said, I love what I do. I just don't like the hours. And I said to her, well, with the experience that you have, with the knowledge that you have, I think you ought to stay in the banking industry if you love it, but become a consultant. Help people build their portfolio. Consult in business as it relates to money. She has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to 501k, when it comes to IRA, CDs, all that stuff. In fact, I have a couple of IRAs, and she was the head behind those things. And she said, Terrence, I never thought about it like that. I'm like, yeah. Take what you've gained, use it to help others, and monetize off of it. You can build your portfolio. You can build your client base. You can build your customer base because you're extremely wise at what you know and you're extremely good at what you do. You're so good that the bank is trying to do everything they can to keep you. That is evidence at how sharp you are and how good you are at what you do. So if you love it, you've got to monetize it. That's her increase. That's her increase. Some of you take the wealth of experience that you've had over the years, you take that experience and learn how to give it and receive from it. That's your increase. So when it seems as if you've tapped out of one area financially and the money is not coming through that lane anymore, it does not mean that God is not blessing, because there is nothing he wouldn't do for you. I'm going to say that again. There's nothing he wouldn't do for you. What happens is we get accustomed to his provisions in one way. And once we get accustomed to the provisions in that way, a lot of times we get stuck there thinking that that is the way that he's going to choose forever. And this way was only for a season. And for some of us, that point of provision is over. But we're still at the banks waiting for him to provide from that tree. And he's moved on trying to give you land somewhere else. I give you another way. And make sure you all invite somebody to share. I give you another way that he provides. Through saving. So when I got this equipment that I have, this is top of the line equipment, top of the line lights, top of the line sound system. This is top of the line stuff. Watch this. And when I went to get this stuff, I asked around. A buddy of mine turned me on to it. He was like, with the production that you're putting on, he says, I love the quality of it. He said, but there's some equipment that you can get. And when he told me how much the equipment cost, I wasn't accustomed to paying that much for what we have. The prices had changed on it. And immediately, of course, the price didn't scare me, but it did concern me. So I asked him, well, what is the benefit of having this? Because the setup that I have is extremely good and well. He said, well, technology has changed. And because technology has changed, they've changed the way they do things. And with this equipment, you get automatic upgrades because it's digital. You hook it up to your computer and you get these upgrades. And I'm like, now that's so it's a way to buy into the future. In other words, a year from now, I'll still be getting upgrades, and it'll be as if this equipment is brand new because of how sound the technology is. So I began to look in it, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, everything was going to be pretty close to $7,000. I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to pay no $7,000 for this equipment, even though it's a investment in the future. I'm going to be using it for a while, and it automatically upgrades. I still didn't want to pay $7,000. So I began to shop around and began to ask people. Went to YouTube, and I got probably 20 or 30 people gave me their opinion on why I needed it and why it's worth the investment. And one of the 20 of the 30 people, I expressed to them, I don't want to pay that for it. Is there a way that I can get it at a discounted price? And they said, actually, it is. Are you a member of such and such? I am. Well, did you not know that they give, I think, a 30% discount if you are a member? Now, you've got to prove your membership. Long story short, when I looked into it, that equipment that was almost $7,000, I got it for about $2,500. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. The point that I'm making is that God is always trying to hook you up. He's always trying to create provision for you. Tina White McPherson, good morning. The thing is, you've got to see the opportunity, and you've got to work the opportunity. And a lot of times working the opportunity means doing research, asking questions. That is faith in motion. It really is. Some of the employees on the job have cited me to be cheap. And I keep telling them I'm not cheap. I'm really not. But I'm always looking to save. Now, if I can get something and get a discount, you best believe that's the route we're going to take. And sometimes that requires me waiting. I'm going to give you another way that God increases you. Stop trying to be in line for this new stuff when it comes out initially. Wait. Waiting will save you a lot of money. They jack those prices up. When something is new, they jack those prices up. And here's the downside of buying something when it first comes out. It hasn't been tested in time. So the first couple of hundred, few thousand people that get it, and whatever problems that they have, then the company generally upgrades it, changes it, make it better. Give it a while. What is this itch that you have? Well, you have to have the latest cell phone. What is this itch? Well, you have to have the latest Beats, the latest Jordans, the latest car. You love these gadgets. There's nothing wrong with you having it, but what I'm challenging you on is the timing in which you get it. Give it a few months. The iPhone, for instance, when the iPhone comes out, you get that thing 3-4 months before you get it, the price drops over 40%. It does. That's really all cell phones, because as soon as they release one, so when they're getting ready to release the 12, the 13 is already made. They're not releasing the 12, then discovering something new to make the 13. That's not how technology works. So if they're releasing the 12, they already have the data for the 13. They're already working on it. If you give it a few months, the price is going to drop. And that's on anything. All right. Now, if you have the money, let me give you this. Stop investing in depreciating assets. That cell phone is not that important. So you're going to pay $1,000, $1,500, and I know that to be true because I'm with AT&T, and I looked this morning, and they said you can upgrade your phone. So I entertained the idea to see what they had, and they had a number of cell phones on there. One of the cell phones that I saw was $1,500. Then they had, you can select a payment plan or pay it outright. $1,500. 4 of those is $6,000. 4 phones, $6,000. The problem to me is that there are better things that I can invest my money in and get a larger return. You need to invest in life insurance. Let me help you out. A lot of people invest in life insurance so that when the loved one dies, you don't have to come out of pocket with the funeral costs, and that's good. We need that. But rich people buy life insurance while they're living. They borrow against their own money. They pay interest back to their account from the money that they borrowed from themselves, and it continues to accrue per year. And the more you invest, the more you make. It's better than having a savings account. I don't have a savings account. The money that I have in my account is the money that I need from day to day. Okay? I have a number of jobs, businesses, and the bulk of my money goes into my insurance because that's where I've gained the largest return. And anytime I'm getting ready to make a large purchase, I don't go to my bank, I cash in one of them insurance policies and pay myself back. And the interest that I've made from what I've invested generally is large enough to pretty much get me anything, that I need within reason. It's paying yourself. So you're gonna take about $30,000. Latrice Roberts, good morning. You're going to take about $30,000 and you're going to take that and go buy a car. When you drive the car off the lot, you've lost $10,000. So now the car is worth $20,000. Car's worth $20,000. You've lost $10,000 already. You could have taken that $30,000, invested it in life insurance, gotten the interest off of it a couple of years, few years, and you could have paid cash for that car from the interest without ever touching the principal. You need to stop trying to compete with the culture, with society, and get the latest fashion gear. And you need to buy some land, especially here in Jacksonville. I don't know if you've noticed, but the prices have jumped and they are extremely high. And you have a lot of investors that have come to the city, and they're buying up land like crazy. They're just buying it up. They're developing apartments, condos. They're putting it on that land, and then they're charging you for one bedroom about $2,000, $2,100, $2,200. And you multiply that 2,200 by 100 units. Not only are they paying their bills, but they're becoming millionaires in the first few months off of their investment. You got to stop. I say it all the time, and someone asked me, my son asked me the other day, he said, do you have a problem with name brand? I don't. I've got some name brand gifts that I got for my birthday that I'm gonna break out and I'm gonna stun on y'all. I'm gonna be extremely carnal. Matter of fact, the Gucci shoes that I have, I'm not gonna wear them as shoes. I'm gonna wear them around my neck. I'm gonna tie the shoestrings together. I'm just go out and just have them around. Hey, why you got them Gucci shoes around the neck? Because I can. I'm not against it. I am against us investing in things that are depreciating and still living trying to get ahead. Even if you have $50,000, $60,000 in your account, that ain't really no money. It's not. When you consider how much money it takes to live, when Trump was in office, these are facts. When Trump was in office, I filled up my car, same car that I have. I got rid of my other car. I got rid of the car that I love. I have my everyday car. That's my little Camaro. And then I have a car that I love that I bought that I had to get rid of just because of the chip. Anyway, when Trump was in office, it would cost me about $35, $38 to fill up my car. Now, the same car takes about $60, $70, and it's gone down some. Well, when you measure the cost of living, the way that it is now, multiplied over the next 5 years, that gives you a general idea of what you should have in your bank account. Apartment communities won't even let you live on their property unless you make, I believe it's 2 to 3 times in salary what the rent is per month. So one of the problems with African Americans is we live for the now instead of thinking about our future. And there is a system, there is a practice, there are financial things that we are not aware of that is causing us to lose ground. And one of the things we are aware of is that we are competing against the culture. We want people to know we ain't broke and we got something and we making it. I'm out here winning. So you go buy, product that's $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. You pay $5,000, $6,000 for a pair of shoes, $3,000 for a belt, and it's really just to prove to everybody else you're winning. Why else are you buying it? When you can take that belt that's $3,000, that purse that's $8,000, those shoes that's $5,000, that little wallet that was $2,000. You can take all that money, put it together, and buy some land, because right now, especially in Jacksonville, it's appreciating. in value. So you gotta place your money where your money can work for you and you can get the greatest benefit. I would love, there's another there's a franchise that I've been praying about probably the last 4 weeks about buying into. In order to buy into it, there's certain things you have to have, but I would make my money back in 6 months. The issue for me is trying to calculate not just the long-term gain financially, it's calculating what is it going to cost me mentally. Does it move me away from my purpose? Does this investment become a thorn in my flesh before I make this commitment? Or is it something that can be easily maintained? It's not just about making a lot of money. There's so many ways you can do that. But how can you make that money and maintain your peace and accomplish your purpose? Does it fit the road in which you are traveling? When I started this coffee shop thing, and I bounced it off of a few of my friends, people that know me, people that know the side of me. If I try something and it ain't working, I'm out. It could be a relationship, it could be a business. I really don't feel I have nothing to prove to people. I'm trying to find the lane where I'm supposed to be, and I can't do that if I have people in mind. What this person gonna say about it? No. The way I look at opportunities is, what is it gonna cost me long term? If I was to get married, how would my wife be able to enjoy it? What is the stress factor? What has happened with this business in the last 10 years? Where's society going? With what I have on my plate, does it fit my destiny? Does it fit my purpose? I've been given a lot of opportunities that will make me a lot of money, but I'm not sure I'd be content, and I'm not sure I would be happy. So when looking at opportunities, those are the things that I factor. Those are the things that come to mind. How could the church benefit from this idea? Because that's my first priority. I am a businessman, and God has chosen me to pastor, and those two, they walk hand in hand. I'm getting ready. This is a part of my topic, but it's not. One of the reasons the Church of Jesus Christ is not successful in owning is just because you're called to lead in shepherding does not mean you're a successful businessman. You have to have both skills, and whatever skill you lack, you have to staff your weaknesses. I know what I'm able to do and what I'm not. And God is yet sending people that I can put around me who are skilled to do things that they're teaching me. But if you're arrogant, narcissistic, and nobody can tell you nothing, then the help that God sends you, you'll never learn from. Eventually, you'll allow envy and jealousy and iniquity rise in your heart, and you'll start beating the people that God sent to help you. And that's something leaders got to get. And this is leaders on all level. If you're going to monetize, if you're going to gain an advantage and put yourself in a position to win in years to come, all of the answers are not going to come through you. I give you this. I give you this. As spiritual as I can be, I can equally be just as carnal. But I know where my carnality lies. So in the area where I'm not as strong or I haven't really obtained the success over that level of carnality, I have people around me who are strong in those areas. Let me give you this too, because there are a lot of people praying about business. And even though businesses are built on principles are from God, they're just not good business people. They're gifted, and your gift can be so sharp. Your skill can be so sharp that it literally invades an area that most people would never get in. It's able to open doors for you that only comes once in a lifetime, that sets you out amongst everybody else. That skill set, that gift can be so sharp that it can literally put you in the place of kings and queens in our earth. But if you don't understand your weak spots, your blind spots, and what you're not good at, and you've not staffed those areas with people who are just as skilled in those areas that you are in yours, wherever you go, you won't be there long. Because the opportunity is going to come and it's going to expose your weak spots. I have a business where I needed an administrator who was innovative and proactive, and an administrator who could deal with my temperament. Now, and I don't want y'all to think I'm talking bad about myself. I'm not bipolar in any of that stuff, but my temperament is different. Let me give you, because all this affects your money. All this affects the bottom line. Everybody's talking about, I need God to do this, I need God to do that. And I'm saying God's doing it, but we're not occupying these places of freedom by taking advantage of the provision that God has given us, because there is so much of us that is in the way. So I needed an administrator that could deal with my temperament and not misjudge what's going on. So there are days, because I talk for a living, when I get home, I don't want to talk. Sometimes I'm in the office and they are carrying on, doing their thing, trying to get me involved in conversation. I'm not talking, but I'm not mad at them. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not depressed. I'm not even really necessarily focused on the business aspect. It's just that part of me is being used all the time, and I'm depleted. I'm tired of talking. So I need to reset. And a part of my resetting happens often around the people that I work with, or the people that work for the companies that God has blessed me with. So because of that, they've got to be okay with me not talking. I'm not rude. I'm nice. You know, my parents raised me right. My grandmother, my family did a good job. Nothing's wrong with me. I'll come in and listen, work all day and won't say, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Everybody got, okay. I'll be in the back. If you can, do not disturb me. If you can. There's something you need, by all means, let me know. Other times I'll remove myself from the work environment, work from home, or go find me a quiet place and work so I'm not disturbed. But there's nothing wrong. I talk for a living. And you got to know, anybody that talk this much needs a doggone break. So I don't have time necessarily, even it's sometimes for the pleasantries on a phone call. It's kind of like, hey, how you doing? Good. I'm doing real good. How are you? Good. And they want a small talk. And that's not the frame of mind that I'm in. What I'm really after is, how can I help you? How can I be of assistance? And a lot of times it's the mood. A lot of times it's the responsibility. A lot of times it's a lot is going on at once. And my time is limited. So I've got to make the best of that time. And the way that I kind of make the best of that time, trim the fat, is I kind of get straight to the question. Here's how it sounds on a call. Hey, you doing good? Good. How's your family? Good, man. I'm glad. So I got a lot on my plate, bro. What can I help you with today? The people that know me know that means get to the point. My daughter is good for it. I love that little girl. My daughter's going to call me, Daddy, I need. Sometimes I get a, hey, how you doing? Sometimes I don't. She gets straight to the point. Well, it's not that she's rude. She's been around me long enough to know what I like. My son is a little different because he operates, he's very different. He is, hey, Pops, what's up? He's gonna get a joke in his greeting. He got that from his mama. He didn't get that. No, he's gonna get a joke in. I don't care what he's gonna get a joke in, and then he's gonna ease to whatever it is he wants. He's very straight up about it. Well, understanding these personalities, understanding who you're dealing with, is gonna help you in the overall measure when it comes to the baseline of idea of what you may need, what you may want, or how to get along with different people. A lot of times, someone like me, who's on the go, and I'm a lot of personality all the time. I love laughing, and I'm gonna say something. To when I see people who are not giving into that part of what I'm offering, and they're getting straight to the point, I'm not offended because I understand. I do. I understand greatly. So God, I've got a lot of comments. Let me say this, and then I want to read these comments. God is putting around you what you need to help advance you and take some things that you don't have to do off your plate so you can focus on what you're good at and make more time with what I move faster. I move faster when I'm in the area of my gifting. You pull me out of that area, there are a lot of things that I can do, but I can't move or navigate in those positions in a good timely manner or a good timely fashion. I can get it done, but it's going to take me longer. So what I try to do is stay from out of those areas and maximize my time by spending it where I'm good at. I can get more accomplished quicker. That saves me time. And I try and delegate those things that takes me longer to the people that can do it quicker, faster, and better. You've got to be able to appreciate people that are better than you. This is not a competition. There's a level of comfort that I have when people are better than me. They're better than me. They are. I'm going to give you a church example, and then I'm going to read these comments. I've been a worship leader I'm 30 years old. So my spirit was here doing it long before I was. Anyway, for over 30 years. I know my music when it comes to the area of worship. I know how to get to where I'm going. I know transitions. I know. So because I know what it should be. Well, God has sent me an angel, my little niece, who sings better than me. She does. Her transitions are amazing. I believe she's a better overall package worship leader than I am. I believe she is. And it's not a competition, but I enjoy her. Whenever I'm able to sit and I'm not thinking about, oh, you should have did, because you know how we do when we know something. It's hard for us to enjoy what we know because the skill kicks in and it does not allow our mind to rest because you're in my lane. When I say that girl is up singing, leading worship, and I ain't thinking about nothing but God, that is a blessing to have. Now, somebody else may be intimidated by that. I'm not. It complements the overall work that we are trying to accomplish. So what I'm saying to you is that when the help comes and they're better than you, that's God answering you. So you can relax there. All right. I said I was going to say that and read these comments. Oh. The big bro is on. He's old enough to be my father, but we won't call him the big bro. Andres Carlos Cooper. Good morning, sir. Good stuff. A businessman called to pastor. Unconventional thought, but good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Paul, the Apostle Paul was a good businessman. Paul was such a good and deliberate businessman. Let me tell you what he did, Pastor Cooper. He ordained deacons to handle the stuff that would pull him away from what he was good at. And he positioned these deacons in a place and ordained them, gave them authority in those areas so that he could stay on what he was good at. He did the same thing with the elders. Whole reason we have elders, those elders are literally pastors because elder, deacon, bishop, all that stuff is the same thing. You all have made you've turned it into something different. But if you look at the original Greek and Hebrew, they're the same thing. They're the same title. But what he did is he multiplied himself and positioned these people and gave them authority so that they could handle things so that he could stay and focus on what he was good at. I don't know if I'm a total believer in you sharpening where you're weak. I think you sharpen where you're weak if the weakness is slowing you down. But I think you're supposed to focus on what you're good at and what you're called to do. And what you're called to do, generally, you're good at. I'm not saying you can't grow, you can't get better, but I really believe you're supposed to focus on what you're good at. The only time we focus on what we're not is when what we're not is hindering what we're good at. Then we've got to make some upgrades. So the call to pastor, believe it or not, is a call to business. Pastoring, pastor, the term in the scripture is really not, it's not a celebrated title. It's a low title. It's herding sheep. That's what it is. And there's nothing prestigious or nothing nice about herding sheep. And a part of herding the sheep is to keep the sheep away from the wolf. Keep the sheep in a place where it has fine pasture to feed, water to keep it calm. So this ideology of pastoring that we see in our culture goes totally against what it was in the Bible, because sheep they smell funny. And when they get sick, they smell even worse. When David talks about, in the 23rd Psalm, he talks about thy rod and thy staff. The rod was to keep the sheep in order, not to beat it, because if a sheep is so sensitive, if you beat the sheep, with the rod, when it's time to go elsewhere, that sheep is not going to follow you because of the wound that you've given to not only its heart, but its body, because sheep are sensitive. And they're not that bright. And that's not an insult. It's just the study of sheep. When it comes to the staff, one of the main reasons for the staff was to keep the wool away from its hind parts, because if the wool covered its hind part and that sheep could not use the bathroom, it would die. So when we look at that rod and that staff, those are things that really should comfort and help the sheep, not hinder it. So the shepherd is a businessman, because he's got to understand that as the seasons change, he has to change not just his position, but his placement. Let me say it this way. If we didn't have cars and whatever, we would, if we were herding sheep and we lived in, let's say we lived in New York, then in the winter times, we would head south where it's warmer so that the sheep wouldn't freeze to death. And then as it heats up so the sheep wouldn't burn to death, we'd head back north. So there's this constant movement and discernment of times and being able to judge matters that keeps that shepherd on the move, and always mathematically judging seasons, money. There's a sensitivity of timing. And even though all sheep in some regards are the same, they're extremely different. And most times that takes a businessman. I'm not saying that you have to be a businessman to pastor. I'm saying most times it takes a businessman. Now, I've seen some real pastors who are not businessmen. That's like a Moses and Aaron type relationship. Moses couldn't talk. His handicap was in his speech. So Aaron had to translate his sermons. Okay. Wow, get this. Nothing's wrong at all. All right. Raquel, good to see you this morning. It's okay to help someone understand. Our personalities minimize understandings, misconceptions, and hurt feelings. So anyway, so your increase is here. Your increase is here. God is supplying for the work of your hand. What you have to do is be in a position to receive what he You have to be in a position to receive what he has done, what he has given, and be pliable to put yourself in a position to yield in places you're not that good and be more vocal in places where you are. But at the same time, always have an open ear to hear what's being said, because we don't make it. We don't make it. We make it as we go, as we climb, as we move, we get better. And that is how increase comes. So increase is happening now. A lot of times you just have to find the door where it's raining. You have to put your hands on a lot of things. It's a lot of times to try and find out what door is going to open, because God doesn't also all the time talk to you and tell you, go this way. Sometimes as you go, he directs you, and it seems like you're moving by your own intuition until you get there. I'll give you this last scripture. I didn't know I was on so long. I'm getting ready to go off. Man, it's been an hour and 5 minutes already. Abraham, when he told Abraham, he said, go to a land that I will tell you of. When he tells Abraham to go to a land that I will tell you of, he doesn't talk to him anymore. The Bible says, and when Abraham had finally reached his destination, it said this. It said, and Abraham stumbled into the place. How do you stumble into something if you knew where you were going. So he didn't know. He went and he took the best route that he felt was good for him. And it was in him doing something that God was leading him all the time, even though it didn't seem like God was leading. It didn't seem like God was leading, but he was leading him all the time. And what I'm saying to you all today is a lot of times your increase in money is in you moving and trying stuff. It's in you moving and working stuff. It's in you, it's in your try that God is leading. But if you do nothing, he can't lead. Trying puts faith in motion too, because you got to be believing something if you're trying something. So thank you for tuning in this morning. Happy Friday, everybody. I really pray that this day is productive. For those of you looking for a church home or you want to be a part of a fellowship, no religion here. We do it in an hour. We have 1 hour services. We start at 1 o'clock. We're out at 2. That's 600 King Street, Jacksonville, Florida. 1 o'clock every Sunday. Let me give you this. Our motto is encountering God, empowering people. We love to have you. You ought to come this Sunday and bring about 5 people with you. God is blessing us. We're growing. The growth is surprising me. It is. It is, because I'm human. But He's doing a great work, and I would love to see you there. Again, that's Encounter Church, 1 o'clock every Sunday, 600 King Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32205. The last thing that I would tell you is that increase is here for you. You just got to find the place where it is. And in finding the place, it causes you to use faith. Meaning you're going to have to try a number of things, press open a couple of doors, have a conversation, network with people. You're going to get out your shell. You're going to have to get around people who are doing things on a larger scale than you. Raquel, I have somebody I want you to meet. Ew. Just hit me. I have somebody I want you to meet. And in doing that, in the network, you're able to measure your net worth, and you're also able to put the pieces together. A lot of times God doesn't give you the whole puzzle. He gives you a piece at a time. He tells you on a need-to-know basis. Other than that, it's up to you. You've got to work it. You've got to do what you know how to do. For those of you, it's your giving that help us do the things that we're called to do in the earth. We're called to help widows, orphans. We're called to help people who can't help themselves. That's just not physically, spiritually, intellectually. It's all of that together. Your giving helps the physical part, your finances, the gifts that you give on a continual basis. Those of you that are our monthly partners, you're a part of Coffee Time and have been. We're able to do what we're able to do because of you. We sow back into our community. We feed the homeless. We feed the hungry. We help as many people as possible. Even when we run out of funds, God always makes a way. So I need your continual partnership. I need your continual support in terms of your giving. The Cash App is on the screen, $ sponsor Coffee Time. Don't forget church, Encounter Church, this coming Sunday, 1 p.m. We'd love to see you, 600 King Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32205. You were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. You got to calm down, slow down, shh, be quiet, know when to speak, use emotional intelligence, trust God, and let wisdom speak. When wisdom speaks for you, you're going to always win. You all have a productive Friday. Happy Friday. I love you all. Thank you for your love as well as your support. Until the next time, I pray God's best on your life. Think higher, speak life. See you in a bit.
Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.